What is up, RC enthusiasts? Today we're going to be talking about tires. Today we're going to be talking about these guys right here, the BRKRC tires right here. These tires are a little bit bigger in diameter than the stock TRX4Ms. So now we're going to talk about the benefits of that. I have them mounted on the TRX4M's beadlock wheels, those method beadlocks right there, the 105s. And here's the 105s with the Defenders wheels on it. These are the Traxxas, I believe they're called the Canyon Trails. Those ones right there, as you can tell, are a little bit smaller. So the benefit to this is obviously going to be ground clearance. As you can tell on my Bronco right here, those tires are installed on the Bronco. And I have the Bronco stock tires installed on the Defender right there, because I believe that works really well on that setup for how heavy that body is on the Defender. Pretty deep treads right there, so maybe mud would probably be good for it. It feels a little stiff when the foams are inside. There's foams in there, as you can tell. When you take the foam out, I'd say when I started doing this to them after taking the foam out, they're kind of in between the tires that come stock on both those rigs back there. So it's pretty good in softness still. Grippiness, it doesn't feel that bad. I still feel like the Canyon Trails feel a little grippier than it, but it's not that bad. And like I said, it adds ground clearance. That's the benefit to this right here. A lot more ground clearance. So the two ways to increase ground clearance is obviously to lift the vehicle with your suspension to get the ground clearance right here. And the other way is to get bigger tires. Bigger diameter tires, as you can tell, compared to the stock tire, will gain you ground clearance as well. I'm not sure if you can tell right here, but that diff right there is further from the ground than the diff on the Defender. And hopefully this shows you how much more room you have right here. We're going to slide this screwdriver. I'm going to point the red parts of the screwdriver. It has two red portions on each side right here. I'm going to lay them parallel to the table, so that way it'll be the same on both. So you can tell right here, that's as far as I can get. Get the screwdriver in there, and it's going to start pushing the rig back, so you can tell. So it only goes as far as the red part. So once it starts in the red part, it hangs up on the red part. Now with the taller tires, you can tell. Keep going, keep going. I went a lot further right there before I got hung up. I went to, you could actually tell where it hung up right there. So that's a lot further. That shows you that the pumpkin right here is a lot higher from the ground, which in case will also give you a lot more ground clearance, so you can go over stuff. But let's say a rock maybe like this that might get hung up on here. This will go right over it. Yeah, so there you go. That's a good way to achieve more ground clearance for your axles right there. You can check the link below for these BRKRC tires. I like them, they're pretty good, but there's only one problem I have with these tires, with these wheels. But I did solve it, and it's a pretty simple fix, and I'm going to show you how I did it right here in this video. And it's also going to be a fix for the stock wheels and tires. Even though these are beadlocks, I was able to get them to spin on the bead. So even these Traxxas tires, if I grab the wheel and spin them, I can actually get them to spin on the bead. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it's actually spinning on the bead. But it's so much force that I don't think by running this light little rig that it's going to actually spin this tire off the rim. But it does spin off there if you force it enough. But I noticed with these wheels, the beads don't like sandwich really nicely into these beadlock wheels, so it does spin on the bead. And I'll show you that on one of these tires back here. Here you go. Here's an example of it right here. Alright, the best way for me to show it to you is you guys see the Method logo on the wheel, and look that it's lined up to this 44 right here, kinda. Check it out. I just spun that completely off from that 44. So yeah, it doesn't really hold these tires in too well, but I do have a little hack to get them to work well on this, and it's not even that expensive to do. All you need is dollar store double-sided tape right here, and I'll show you what I did. All you need it's a length of this long enough to cover the circumference of this right here. So just measure some out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just measure it out. I'll just use the actual wheel itself, or the ring. And there you go. Once you get to where you need to be, just rip it right there. And now what I like to do from here is fold it in half on itself. Now I want to be precise in this, so I'm going to get off camera for a second. There you go. I folded it in on itself. And then now all you have to do is remove the actual backing. And once you get it off the backing right there, you're going to do that fold one more time. You're just trying to fold it straight down the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're never going to see this. And make sure your hands are clean, because you want to lose the stickiness really of this, so don't handle it too much. And once you have it folded twice like that, folded over on itself twice like that, then you're just going to put it on the inside of this wheel, and preferably clean as well. As you guys can see, I made it too long, so just cut it off right there. So you're going to do that with it right there. You can do that on both sides. I'm going to have to do it for this side too. And once you do that, you just install these onto the tires as normal, you know, slide them in there and stuff. And then you're going to put the bead locks on top of this. And now you just created a tighter fit right there. So the bead locks are going to stay. And I actually have one right here done already. And yeah, I cannot get that to spin anymore at all. There you go. That's how you fix that problem. Very simple. And now it's really truly locked, even more locked than the stock factory, you know, tires on the bead lock. Well, there you go, the BRKRC tires right there. Not too shabby. They do give you more axle clearance, and they do grip pretty well in my experience so far from running them. They're not going to be the grippiest tires out there, but for the set of 4, it's a pretty good price. And they look like they're going to be good in mud, good in wet weather stuff. And like I said, ground clearance, it's definitely going to give you some of that right there, and that's going to always benefit you in performance for sure. And also, these guys right here, they fit SCX24s, you know, anything with a 1-inch wheel, that'll fit that. It's just the ground clearance you got to worry about, and, you know, rubbing obviously on your fenders. You're going to have to lift your rig or cut fenders and stuff, but on this right here, it doesn't rub too bad. I'm not sure on a Defender, I've never tried it on that one, but on this one, it doesn't rub too bad. And you could also lift this a little bit more, and I've actually lifted it with 2 of the preload spacers up front and 3 in the back, and that actually gets it to flex enough to where it'll almost start rubbing but not rub. Or you can just get it to rub a little bit, which is not too bad, and I think the flex is better that way. So either way, I think these tires are fine for the TRX4Ms. They'll definitely work for these, just a little bit taller for a little bit more ground clearance. Well, alright guys, thanks for watching as usual, and as always, stay safe out there, and go have fun, and run that RC.